blessed day to you all. I was asking Manel, my wife, what is your favorite fruit the other day? And she was quick. Her response, mangosteen. Mangosteen. Have you ever tasted that?
Yes. Yeah.
Especially the ones that are from Asia. Something about the soil there that produces a sweet tanginess. And then she asked me, what is yours? And then I told her rather quickly, I do not have the English equivalent, but the one that comes from Bangkok, Thailand, it's like when you open the fruit, it's like cotton. And when you dig and sink your teeth, the cotton transforms into candy. And that juice just infuses a different kind of joy. Like, oh my goodness, this is so good. It's Santol, but it's from Bangkok. And the English equivalent of that is Santol. Because it's Santol. Is there any equivalent to that anywhere? No. But you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, and the Bangkok Santol is huge if it's the one that came from Bangkok, from Thailand. Now there are Santols that are this variety, they're rather small. Once upon a time, my grandfather, Lolo Eusebio, who prides himself to be a man of the field, once upon a time took the bus from where he was and went to where we were when I was a small boy. And I can still vividly remember that day that he was unpacking 2 pots. There were 2 ordinary pots. And we were gathered like there was some kind of an important revelation that these are very important pots because they contain most important seeds. And that we were commissioned to take care and make sure that this tree, I was told, these 2 trees would live, because we will be just stunned and by what it will produce, we were told. I didn't pay much attention to that because all that I saw were pots. I didn't even see any of the sprouts because I just learned that there were seeds. Well, my parents paid attention apparently to my grandfather. My grandfather made specific instructions that one pot should be positioned in front of the house and the other one should be positioned at the back of our house. And they did that apparently because I began noticing that there was in fact a sprouting of a little tree. And I was told, rather casually, make sure that I avoid breaking the little tree. And I did that. But it kept on growing. And it kept on growing. And let's fast forward some more years, 10, 15. And picture me constantly turning both trees into hideaways, because you would constantly find me sitting on top of that tree on branches. And I would just be savoring the deliciousness of what that tree provided. Well, especially the one that's at the front. The one at the front produced giant Bangkok Santols, like giants, like this. So much so that when you open that that it doesn't look beautiful actually. It's orangey brown and it's very rough, but when you crack it, there's cotton. And they're like 8 pieces of cotton balls. And there's seed. But when you start tasting it, it changes everything. So I would climb the tree and I would just sit there and gorge on about 6 or 7 of those fruits. And I would just be in fruit heaven. I was not yet a believer there, but I was so relaxed, and it's like almost like a drug effect. I would go there and know exactly which ones are ripe. Even when I'm talking now, I'm salivating, just thinking about it. And not to mention the one at the back. The back was a medium-sized version. You see, my sister right there is impishly smiling because I think I'm transporting her back to the way we were, because this is absolutely amazing when I'm picturing it in my head. The back one, smaller but lots more fruits, but smaller version. So my favorite is actually the one in the front. And that's my delight when it's the season for the fruitfulness of that tree. However, the one in the front grew in such a way, that with such enormity, that it actually overshot the fence. And so most of the branches were now protruding outside of the fence. And you know, we live in Santo Niño in Pampanga, and not a fancy village, but it's, you know, it's a simple, ordinary village, and you got lots of rambunctious little mischievous kids. And they spot the tree, of course. And of course, you know what happens when you've got some fruit sticking out of your fence. It becomes fair game in their estimate. And so what happens is, occasionally you'd hear this rowdy crowd throwing rocks or whatnot, and picking the fruits, until it became an issue inside the house. And there was an edict from the legislative body that the outsiders should be banned from enjoying the fruits. And so there should be sticks to raise it higher. And the fence should now be marinated with broken glass so that they can step on the fence. So one day, my dad was crushing bottles of Pepsi, Coca-Cola, 7-Up. She was crushing it. I was asking, Dad, what are you doing? I just joined me, and I'm just going to secure the fence. And there was cement, and I helped my dad. We sprinkled broken bottles on top of the fence so that the kids won't be able to stand on the fence and get the fruits. It's impossible because they would slash their soles. And of course, the kids weren't able to get any of the fruits anymore, but neither did we, because the branches were so way up high. And there was a phenomenon that took place the following year. The tree stopped bearing fruit. And so we were waiting for the tree to bear fruit. They were wondering if there was a disease that struck the agrarian land. Seems like that was an anomaly, because the tree at the back kept on producing fruit, but the one at the front stopped. So you know what I did? I just told my dad and my mom, you know why it stopped producing fruit? I think because we have stopped sharing it with my peers. Some of those most of them were my friends anyway. Why just if you let it go? Why don't we allow the kids just to have have some of those. And you know what? I did something. I did something. Because the following year, I don't know what happened, it started bearing fruit again. I would even open the gate and invite some of the kids, whom some of those I didn't know, to come in and pick some of the fruits inside, because those are better. And you know what? That tree resurrected back to life and began bearing fruit again. I'm again scratching my head and wondering, does this tree have a soul? I said, what is this? I said, it seems like this tree has a life of something inside that reacts to intentions and motivations and whatnot. It gives me a feeling that what I now know to be true, that God claims that He's still, we can water whatever we want to water, we can till and cultivate whatever we want to cultivate, but He brings life to trees. If He does not command this tree to bear fruit, good luck with that. Because it tells me that unless the Lord steers it, not unless the Lord steers something on planet Earth, including my life, nothing is going to happen. I can work myself until I'm bone tired, but not unless the Creator of the universe does something and speaks life into it. Nothing's going to happen. Everything's going to be fluffy and nothing but branch, no leaves, no fruits. And then I'm looking at the church and the crazy statistics that 84% of millennials have stopped going to churches because they find it irrelevant. And that 950 churches closed shop recently in North America. By the way, this is not to dampen your souls, because that's not true in Asia and in Africa. The reverse is true. As a matter of fact, in Manhattan, as a press release, 100 new churches were planted in Manhattan, the most sophisticated, the most skeptical of all cities, if not. Maybe I'm exaggerating. But do you know that there are 100 new churches in Manhattan today, planted by, drum roll, Africans? Amazing. So Christianity is robust. Not in North America, my land, my place, but in Asia, in Africa, in England, in China, my goodness. Bangkok, Santol, on the loose. So my question is, what's happening to my land? So if God controls the Bangkok, Santol, and He controls every land and every activity in every land, then something is probably amiss where I live. And just because I live here, I am compelled to do something about it. I am compelled to do a lot of thinking and praying on why the fruits suddenly stopped. So I was asking the Lord, you gotta help me in this, Lord, because I'm leading your people. You assigned me to lead them. So where do we go from here? Because we're just about to start 2020, and we're just about to unleash 2 churches. We are so excited and at the same time apprehensive, because we've never planted a church. But now we are on the verge of unleashing our first 2 church plants. And we are excited, but oh God, will it work? See, will it bear fruit? Is this your will? Or is this a concoction of some ambitious church planter who just wants to be in the statistical groundwork that, we planted 2 churches? We must settle this before we even step out. We must be sure that this is of God. And so the Lord gave us this seemingly insignificant book, Haggai. If I ask you to turn to Haggai, you probably won't be able to find it because only one page probably on most Bibles. Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi. Turn to the last book from the Old Testament, right? And it happened historically in a most unusual time frame. You know, Israel was being punished because of disobedience, and because of disobedience they got transported to Iraq, Babylon. And Babylon was the superpower back in the days. And so they invaded Israel as a punishment. God allowed the punishment to take place, and all the good people and the wise people and the intelligentsia and most of the people in Israel got uprooted and they were sent to Iraq. That's Babylon. But history has it that powers do not last. And so Babylon lost its power, and in comes the next world power, Iran, the Khomeinais. So the Khomeinais took over Babylon. And guess what? Since God is the God who positions people, rulers and whatnots, God stirs up, that's a very important word, God stirs up Cyrus. King Cyrus Khamenei of Iran, and in no uncertain terms, tells Cyrus, I want you to bring back those Jews back to their hometown. And you know what? Cyrus, the Iranian, does not, just says yes, and issues a decree. And he tells it in the book of Isaiah, the God of these Israelites spoke to me that he wants them back. So go back. He just brought them back like that, with blessings. With blessings. In about 538 BC, like that. But you know, if you're an Israelite, ever since you were chosen by God to be His people, quote unquote, He made sure that you get this. You are His people, and you're supposed to be ambassadors to the world. And in order for you not to forget that, He made sure that you understand your existence. Whenever you build villages, I'd like for you to understand that before you even build your homes, you should build the church, the temple. Because that's symbolic. It will remind you of why you're there. We have a covenant. I'll provide for you, I'll protect you. But in order for your forgetful people, in order for you not to forget, I want for you to make sure that wherever you go in some places, build a temple in the center. That way you know that life begins and ends there. So that you know that everything is produced, directed by, and script-written by God, Yahweh, and you are my people. And they agree. But for some interesting reasons, they went to Babylon, they blended with the pagan society, and Cyrus kicked them back to their original place in Israel. Guess what? They went back. Well, they remembered that the first thing they need to do is to build the temple. So they did that. But I don't know what happened. They only built the foundation. Can you imagine the biblical community church with only slab foundations? That's it. And they stop construction. The only thing that you see is the slab foundation. How long has it been? 16 years. By the way, you know what they were doing? It's now 18 years. At the center of the village is the temple foundation. There's no temple. But you know what's surrounding the village? Their homes. By the way, let me qualify. Paneled homes. Do you know what paneled homes means? Ornate homes. Model homes. Equivalent to the grandeur of what you see decorated in the first temple. So these are not lousy looking homes. They are good looking homes. And apparently in the last 18 years, the people were so fired up and their preoccupation was to make sure that their dwelling places were beautiful. Except, of course, that they totally forgot about the Lord's house. And that's when Haggai got the word from the Lord. Because something was happening though. Although they had beautiful homes and they had their wonderful careers, they were wondering why there was constantly setbacks. You know how it is? You're always working, you come home to a nice home, but when you're alone, there's a silent hum and a silent reality that tells you that this is not working. Because something is pulling you down and something is stopping you. This is not going to work. That's what's happening to every Jew in that place. And so the Lord spoke to Haggai. We look at the commission. The date is the first thing you see. This is August 29, 520 before Christ. That's the precise dating. And just so you know, the reason why God, I think, made sure that we get the dates is so that we know that the Word of God is not a figment of some brilliant imagination, but it is operative and known in the precise situations of world history. Lest we think that the Bible is just a wonderful composition of some literary mind. It is not. It's anchored in precise history. And we find on August 29, 520 BC, we are told, the word of the Lord came through the prophet Haggai, and it was specifically addressed to the governor Zerubbabel and to the high priest Joshua. And this is what God said, quote, "This people." Now let's park there for a second. You know, when God refers to the Israelites, it is with the term of endearment. Ah, my darling. Ah, my precious ones. You know, sometimes I hear Pastor Robert refer to Joshua, and Josiah, and say, "Miho." Miho, is that correct? Yeah. And you know, I have a young daughter who just announced that she's pregnant, Bianca. You know what I call her? For crying out loud, she's 25, I call her baby. So I told Manel, my goodness, our baby is having a baby. Such a term of endearment. When God calls Israel, He always refers to Israel as my precious little ones. My people. That's how God talks about us, about His people. But here, you know what He says? Tell this people. Oh my goodness. If I translate that in Tagalog, we have a term of endearment in the Philippines. Ang mga mahal kong kamag-anak. Di ba? Mga mahal kong kamag-anak. Mi hermanos, mi hermanas, abuelos, abuelas, ang mga mahal kong kamag-anakan. Okay? But God stopped saying that. He says, itong mga tao na to. This people. Oh my goodness. And when you read that in scriptures, you have to tie yourself on something. Fasten your seatbelts because something is about to be said that's not quite sweet. These people, they say that the time has not yet come to rebuild my house. Tell these people, God was telling Haggai, tell these people who are saying that it's not yet time for my house to be built. Tell them. Are you telling me, God is saying in verse 3, is it a time for yourselves to be living in your paneled houses while my house remains a ruin. Did you forget about our covenant understanding? That I promised to protect you and to provide for you. But there was a commission. The commission was there. Make sure you do not forget yourselves. I'm commissioning you as my ambassadors, and part of that major commission is to make sure that the very first thing that you do when I relocate you to a certain place is to build my house. Because there's not really, that is more than a building. It is a symbol of who you are and who I am to you. And now you've forgotten that. And you're acting as though you are the source and the originator of your own lives. You have your well-decorated homes, they're so paneled, look at how they're ornate. And all that's with me for 18 years now is a church that does not even have walls. And God is saying, and then He follows up in verse 5. Give careful thought to your ways. In Hebrew it is meticulously scrutinize what's happening to you. Because what's happening to you is actually a direct consequence of what I'm causing because of your neglect. I'd like for you to scrutinize your condition, God is saying. And this is, you have planted much, but you have harvested little. You eat, you never have enough. You drink, you never have your fill. You put on clothes, you're never warm. You earn wages only to put them in process with holes on it. And I'm hitting and pausing, and I'm looking at North America and the insatiable craving for sale and Black Friday and whatever has this 4 magic word sale, we gravitate to it. And we have our state-of-the-art gadgets like televisions are so cheap, and we buy them, and suddenly this brand new television that's, what's the name? It used to be plasma. Once upon a time it was black and white. And I remembered my parents promising, we are going to get goodbye to the black and white TV because we're going to get a colored plastic film. And you will see the difference. So one day my dad brought home a colored plastic film and attached it to the black and white. And put some duct tape around it. And we were amazed. I said, oh my goodness, there's color. There's blue, there's red, there's green. And that was the colored TV. And now we are in America, and there's LED, there's plasma, and now that's outdated. And there's 4K, and all these whatnots, and we're looking at our TV, we feel so sorry because we have the plasma. And you know, we visited some friends in the Bible study, they have the state-of-the-art, it's like this. Oh my goodness, have you seen that? Yeah. And we are so obsessed and we think that this thing is going to fill up the joy. And God is saying, and I'm looking at America, and I'm looking at the obsession for career. You know the magic word for people in North America? I can go to church because I have work. Tell me if you question people like that. Why are you not going to church anymore? Oh, Pastor, I have work on Sundays. Good night with that, if you argue. Do we even fight? Oh, Pastor, I can go to church because the kids, they have soccer practice. That's when the JV league happens. Directly at the same time. Do we even fight for that? No way, this is North America. It has got to be understanding, you know. But I wonder if God is understanding at all. It's just painful. Probably one of the most painful sermons I'll ever deliver. If I'm going to be truthful to you, because people, this is North America, and I don't see much fruit. You're all working hard. We are working hard. I'd like for you to assess your pockets, because I don't want to miss this point. Because if you are working hard and you're constantly, why are these pockets like with holes? My goodness, I just received my paycheck. Why is it gone? Where did that go? Where are my relationships broken, my goodness? Because God said, I'm going to do something so that you remember who you are. Because I'm not going to tolerate this. I'm going to make sure that I create a drought to your condition. I will make sure that everything dries up, including your relationships. They will not grow deep. Oh, that's painful. Because you know, once upon a time, back in the days, in the 60s, ask your parents, ask your grandparents, do they get fired after 40 years of service in some company? Just because they're no longer needed? No one does that. Because the relationships are deep. And loyalty to institutions and relationships is paramount. You cannot buy that. They know that's the price and the jewel of companies. When you've got loyal people who stayed the course. Not today. There is serious drought in relationships. Where was your best friend last year? I'm asking that to myself. Am I dried up? Because if I'm dried up, then is there a possibility that I'm missing out on something? That I have not assessed my condition? Is that the reason why the book of Haggai is here? Because for such a time like this, God knows that His people will go through this cycle. Just because it is the Word of God. But then something happened. This is what the Lord Almighty says, give careful thought to your ways, go to the mountains, bring down the bar, and build my house so that I may take pleasure in it and be honored. You expected much, but see, it turned out little. I blew it away. It's not an accident. Because of my house, look, it's in ruins. While each of you is busy with your own house. Do you know the word busy there with your own house? Running away, running towards your house with a smile on your face. Because if there's one thing that brings you joy, is to take care of your own stuff. That's what God is saying. You can't wait to soup up your own homes. When you're, I don't understand it. My house is in ruins. I don't get it. Your homes are so luxurious. My house doesn't even get the crumbs. And you think I'm going to be happy with that? I gave you life. I gave you your jobs. I gave you everything. And now you're using your intellect and your skills to build up your own lives as though it matters. I'm sorry, God is saying. Your pockets are going to have holes. Your friendships will not last. You will not touch anything that will be sustained. It will die. That's pretty scary. Is it happening in North America? When 84% of the next generation are saying that the church no longer matters, I'm asking myself, who is to blame? But God said, I want for you to run instead to the mountain. Cut that tree. I don't care about 18 years of delay. If you cut that tree and bring it here and start working on my house, then I'm going to do something. I will stop the drought. I will grant rain to the grain. I will bring new wine, olive oil, everything else on the ground. I will open up your relationships. I will give you skills you've never had before. In verse 12, Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, Joshua, and the whole remnant of the people obeyed the voice of the Lord. All of them. When they heard it, they were so smitten to the core. They fell flat on the ground and they said, forgive us, God. oh my goodness, let's go do this. And they formed and organized. And you know the story. They started working, but the point of the matter that when God called cooperation, this is the center. Haggai, the Lord's messenger, gave this message to the Lord, from the Lord to the people. When God saw that they were smitten and they were ready to go with God again, God told Haggai, tell the people, I am with my people again. Tell them, I am with you. And so, look at verse 14. The Lord stirred up the spirit of Zerubbabel. The Lord stirred up the spirit of Joshua. And the Lord stirred up the whole remnant of the people. The stirring took place. So much so, those who didn't know how to build suddenly knew what to do. And they were building this temple. And the work was done. Because the Spirit of the living God was stirring everyone else. The point, not unless the Lord stirs us. If this is only a psychological pep talk from your pastor, forget it. Might as well pack up and just take siesta. But if this is from the Lord, that the Lord is calling us to stem the tide and to reverse the trend for the next generation. 84%. Let's go back and pray that those hearts will be turned. And wildfire is just one expression. And Mesquite PCC is one of expression. That's just nothing compared to what God is up to in His mission to reclaim that which was lost. God is calling us to cooperate, but not unless there is a stirring. I asked David Talagit a while ago, David, do you love oatmeal? And he said, I do, Pastor. And so I go, what kind of oatmeal do you do? He said, no, Pastor, my favorite oatmeal is McDonald's oatmeal. Oh my goodness, I said. I didn't even know that McDonald's has oatmeal. Because Starbucks claims to have the world's best oatmeal. It even has the name, world's best oatmeal. And I tasted it and I said, You know why? Because my aunt, I think, produced the world's best oatmeal. It's home cooked. There's something about my aunt's oatmeal that's succulent to the core. I don't understand why that oatmeal, it's steel cut and it's milk. I don't know what she does, but it's different. And so I was able to marshal audacity to ask, Aunt, I love oatmeal. I can survive on oatmeal. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I just sprinkle it with some good stuff. And so, Aunt, what's the secret behind your oatmeal? Because it tastes different. And then I thought that this was a secret. It's not a secret. Come here. Let me just show you. So you want to make this kind of oatmeal? It's very simple. This is what you do. Get a pan. So I got a pan. You like milk in it? Yeah. So got a milk. Pour the milk. So get your oatmeal. So got this oatmeal. Open it. How much do you want? So measure the cup. Okay. Now, be sure that you have a wooden ladle. Can I use plastic? No, it's got to be wood. What's with the wood? Don't ask. You're asking me how it's done. So I got a wooden ladle. Now, once you turn that fire on, I'd like for you to be totally committed, she said. To be totally committed. From start to finish. You stand in front of the stove and watch it. And while you're watching it, I want for you to stir it without ceasing. On one direction only. You cannot do this. It has to be this. And don't stop. Can I use a machine? No, it has to be hand. Aunt, can I stop? No, use the other hand if you want. When do I stop? When you see the first sign of a bubble that it's boiling, that's when you stop. Aunt, it's not yet. Yeah, because the fire is not blasting. It's medium. It's supposed to be medium only. This is going to be a long process. Aunt, you're sure? Because some of the perspiration is already sprinkling on the pot. That's what makes it sodium serious. Anyway, I followed it. And then, when I saw the spots of boiling, my aunt said, now pick it up. Turn off the stove, turn it off. Pick it up. Where's your bowl? It's there. Now you pour. Pour right now. Stop immediately. Pour. Get your spoon. Taste it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Is that it? Yeah. That's what it is, son. You want oatmeal? You've got to be fully, totally committed to it. Don't go to McDonald's. It's prepackaged. It's sitting on the ref. You microwave it. It's good, according to your taste, because you're used to it. But there's something about the stir. Especially when God stirs it. Can you imagine if God's the one stirring it? Golly, I'm just a human being who's so ignorant of a lot of things. But can you imagine if God steers you in everything in your life? And you allow God to tell, God, I was being steered by a lot of things in my life. I got steered here, and I got steered there. I've been steered. And that's the reason why I'm so confused. Because I guess I've allowed myself to be steered in several directions by several people, several opinions, several philosophies. I'm stopping everything, and I want for you just be the one to steer me, because you made me. And I had forgotten about it. No wonder everything in my life is dried up until now. So people of the Biblical Community Church, silently, don't look. I just want for you to feel your pockets. And if you notice that there are holes, I'd like for you to scroll down your Facebook friends and be honest and say who your real friends are. Or it's just a concoction, a figment of some imagination that you've got 5,000 friends who do not even know you. Your career, you're so busy but you're scared to death. Because anytime, some young buck will come and you will be fired. There is no security. You know why? Because you know you have reneged on your covenant with your God. You're not in a safe place. And God is not even calling you my people. But God has a plan. He wants you back. That's why this message is for all of us. And so, a very simple word from God. I asked, so Lord, what do you want for BCC and all the people at BCC to do? And He gave me this. Tell them to go work with me again. They've been working alone. They've been working for their companies for a long time now. They've been working to secure their kids. They've been working to secure their 401k. They've been working to secure things that really do not matter because I hold the universe. Tell them to work with me and I'll take care of everything. Seek first the kingdom of God and I'll take care of everything. It's either that or they will remain dried up. It's now or never. Are you going to work with God? Let's pray. Oh God, you have spoken. Spirit of the living God, we allow you to invade the privacy of our thoughts and of our hearts. And allow you to scrutinize where we are right now. Young and old. Where are we positioned before you? Are we dried up or are we flourishing? Are we fruitful or are we without any fruits? If so, let the strength and the force of the reason of your word slice our hearts and our minds into submission, so that we will cry out and say, we will go to the mountains, we will cut the logs and build your house again. Oh God, help me, help us. We don't know how this is done, but you steer. We've allowed several factors to steer us. We've been steering our own lives, steered by other people, steered by many other stuff. But you, oh God, are the only one who can steer the life that is truly flourishing and fruitful. And so we surrender to you. Oh Father, oh Holy Spirit, unleash, subdue, replace. Oh God, bring life, have mercy, forgive, cause the fruits to happen again. This little part of North America, begin the orchard. Bless wildfire, bless mesquite, bless DCC Maine. And this is only the beginning. Send us to where we need to go. Allow us not to compute, but to turn the steering towards you. Use the skills, use our resources, use our jobs, use our families, use us for the glory of Christ our King. Here am I. Here are we. Send us.
And we prepare for the giving of our tithe.